Jack Osbourne has come forward with an emotional revelation about his relationship with his sister Aimee Osbourne in the final days before their father, Ozzy Osbourne, passed away on July 22, 2025. Speaking just before Ozzy's death on the Disrespectfully podcast, Jack admitted something fans had long speculated but never heard confirmed: he and Aimee were not close at all. The distance wasn't new. It had been growing for years, rooted deep in choices made decades ago, when Aimee made the bold decision to step away from the Osbourne family spotlight, refusing to take part in their MTV reality show, The Osbournes, which catapulted Jack, Kelly, and Sharon into global fame in the early 2000s. Jack explained that Aimee never talked to him about her decision to stay off the show. Instead, she simply disappeared from that chapter of their public life. Aimee believed that joining the show would be low-hanging fruit, and she didn't want to be seen as cashing in on her family's fame. That choice created a lasting emotional chasm between the siblings, one they never bridged, even in the final months of their father's life. They had little to no communication, no efforts to reconnect, no late-night calls or heartfelt messages. Just silence. Aimee Osbourne, born in 1983, is the eldest child of Ozzy and Sharon. A musician in her own right under the stage name ARO, she spent her life keeping a low profile, avoiding tabloids, fame, and the family drama that played out on national television. While Jack and Kelly became household names, Aimee remained a mystery. But even she couldn't stay away when the gravity of Ozzy's death pulled the family back together. On July 30, 2025, the Osbourne family reunited publicly in Birmingham, England, for Ozzy's funeral procession, a massive and emotional event that drew thousands of fans to the streets. People lined up along Broad Street and the Black Sabbath Bridge as the procession made its way through the heart of Ozzy's hometown. It was more than a farewell, it was a historic moment. Black Sabbath's frontman, the Prince of Darkness, was being laid to rest. For the first time in years, Aimee stood side by side with her siblings. Dressed in black, wearing a bat-shaped brooch, a haunting tribute to her father's most infamous stage moment, Aimee appeared somber, quiet, and composed. Jack, meanwhile, wore a black suit with a chrome hearts tie and a silver cross pin, subtle nods to Ozzy's signature Gothic style. Their mother, Sharon Osbourne, was a vision of mourning strength, wearing one of Ozzy's wedding rings around her neck and carrying a bouquet of purple flowers. Kelly, true to her own sense of symbolism, wore purple-tinted circular glasses, a tribute to her dad's iconic eyewear. Despite the deep emotional distance between Jack and Aimee, the funeral brought a flicker of unity. They stood silently beside each other, sharing the same space, the same grief, even if the emotional divide between them remained intact. There were no dramatic reconciliations, no tearful embraces. But in the language of loss, silence can mean more than words. Ozzy Osbourne passed away at the age of 76 after years of health struggles, including Parkinson's disease and complications from a fall in 2019. Just weeks before his death, he performed one final time at the Back to the Beginning concert in Birmingham, a symbolic return to where it all started. Fans saw him one last time on stage, sitting on a throne, defiant in the face of declining health, delivering the dark, electric energy that made him a legend. After his death on July 22, the family released a joint statement. It is with more sadness than mere words can convey that we have to report that our beloved Ozzy Osbourne has passed away this morning. He was with his family and we ask everyone to respect our family's privacy at this time. The message was signed by Sharon, Jack, Kelly, Aimee, and Ozzy's son from a previous marriage, Lewis. Public reaction was swift and emotional. Kelly Osbourne posted a heartfelt tribute on Instagram, calling Ozzy's death the hardest moment of my life. She admitted, "I will not be okay for a while," and thanked fans for the overwhelming support and love during the family's darkest hour. Marilyn Manson took to social media to call Ozzy his beloved friend, saying, "Your legacy lives on." He also thanked the Osbourne family for organizing a farewell that truly honored the man behind the legend. In a sea of grief and fan tributes, the moment between Jack and Aimee stood out, not for what was said, but for what wasn't. Aimee has always lived in the margins of the Osbourne story, an enigma in a family of loud personalities. But her presence at the funeral, her symbolic wardrobe choices, and her silent support of Sharon and her siblings spoke volumes. It was a reminder that, despite distance, disconnection, and decades of silence, family has a strange way of coming full circle, especially when saying goodbye. Jack's revelation that he and Aimee weren't close wasn't a shock to longtime followers of the Osbourne family saga. But seeing them reunited, even if only for a day, reminded fans that grief has the power to soften even the hardest boundaries. Whether they'll rebuild a relationship after Ozzy's death remains unknown. But in that moment, they stood together, united in loss, tethered by blood, memory, and the shadow of a man who defined them all. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.